Hey yo, it's Brian here. Today, talking about the San Francisco 49ers. Penalties and offensive line. I think you guys know what happened week 1 against the Chicago Bears. Lost the game 10-19. Honestly, we should have won that game, but hey, stuff doesn't happen. It doesn't go what you want to go all the time, and the 49ers got the price to pay by getting a first loss of week 1. Am I concerned about this? Yes and no, mostly no, but it is a little bit concerning because they do have stuff that they really have to work on coming into the rest of the season. This is going to be a very long season, and hoping they can rebound against the Seattle Seahawks coming this Sunday in Seattle, I believe. I'm going to have a prediction video, edge to edge video out starting Tuesday. I was going to have it today, but since they are playing Monday Night Football against Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos, it'd be a perfect time to make it tomorrow. So I hope you guys look forward to that, and I can't wait to talk about that game, a division rival, right? But anyways, hope you guys are having a great Monday. Nothing too crazy for me. It is still a little sad that we lost the game against the Bears, but hey, we got to move on and just get ready to play Seattle, right? So let's get this started about the offensive line. I think that's the first thing I want to talk about. It was not great. Trey Lance was getting pressured quite a bit. The Bears defensive line did a pretty good job in this matchup, getting over the interior line in particular. I thought Mike McGlinchey and Trent Williams did the best they could, but everybody else on the inside, it just wasn't really working out, and we missed a lot of the guys like Lincoln Tomlinson and Alex Mack. I knew they were going to be big losses coming into this season, and yeah, for right now, I know it's only week 1, but they are not showing a lot of promise, and that's not really looking good for Trey Lance in the running back game. I mean, it was looking really good early on, but then it just collapsed and nothing could get going. Jeff Wilson couldn't get going after Mitchell got hurt. Trey Lance tried his best, but he got pressured a little bit. He did have a turnover in that game, but you know what? It's not all his fault in this one. He was the big man and took the blame for the team for the loss. That's what you do as a franchise quarterback. But, I mean, I think a lot of reasons outside of his control were the reasons why the 49ers lost this game. I know a lot of people outside of San Francisco media are trashing him right now, saying, we started Jimmy G or something like that. But, you can't really talk about that. It's only been one game. Not the best conditions in terms of the weather, but Lance, I thought he did an average to a little above average for his third game in the NFL. I wish he would have played a little better, but at the same time, I saw potential in him, and I hope to see him more involved in the offense instead of just running the ball. I know Kyle Shanahan likes to run the ball because he can do it if he really wanted to, but you got to give Trey Lance, cut him loose a little bit and let him throw the ball because he can throw the ball quite a bit. He's not terrible. He could throw the ball down the field. He's throwing passes that Jimmy would ever dream of doing. So I think that's a big plus for him, but accuracy is still kind of an issue. But I mean, I'm hoping that he can work on that as the season progresses. I think he's going to get even more comfortable in the offense, and that's what you got to do. I don't think you should ever go back to Jimmy Garoppolo, to be honest with you, unless some horrific injury happened. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But in terms of Trey Lance, he just has to play, whether he's playing good or bad. You just have to let him play because, I mean, when you give up all those draft picks, you're kind of forced to play him eventually, and this is the year to play him. If it becomes a lost cause of a season, then I guess he got experience, but with the team that they have right now, a win-now situation, that would be very disappointing, to be honest with you. If this was a rebuilding process, like a Jacksonville Trevor Lawrence thing, then yeah, that'd be fine, but at the same time, I don't want to talk about Trey Lance too much. I'm talking about the offensive line right now, so I don't want to veer back into that conversation. It's just a big concern because the interior line is going to keep getting beat up, even if it's a terrible D line, which I think we're going to play maybe not the best D lines, but they can get pressure on the quarterback just a little bit because of that. And Trey Lance is going to feel a lot of pressure, and that's going to make him to hold the ball a little bit longer, get some sacks, get some interceptions. That's not what we want with Trey Lance and company. We want him to play really well, but if the offensive line is not clicking like the past few years, then it's going to be a sham, a lost cause right there. So hopefully the offensive line can protect him as much as they can, protect the running game. It'd be the best possible scenario. Another thing to talk about, the penalties. It's ridiculous on what happened on Sunday. There were so many avoidable penalties. I don't know what to talk about. I mean, that was really bad. 11 penalties, I believe, in this one. About 100 plus yards. I think that's like about a touchdown right there because it's a whole cover field, and the defense was a big culprit of this. It's funny because they had a great performance in the beginning of the quarter and a half, but then they started falling apart, and they just couldn't get anything going. Dre Greenlaw, he had about 2 or 3 15-yard penalties. Alshire also had one. a lot of defensive holding. Man, there was just a lot of penalties that they could have avoided, and there were very good drives for Chicago to keep going and scoring touchdowns. I think that's the only reason why they were able to score in the first place, was because the 49ers were giving them opportunities to do that. And sure, Chicago took advantage of the opportunities that the 49ers mishandled, but at the same time, if they were just able to control their aggression and not hit Justin Fields after him going down as a quarterback, then yeah, I think the 49ers would have won this game. But, it shoulda, coulda, woulda. They weren't able to do that. The penalties really killed them, and that's all I got to pretty much say. And even offensively, Brandon Ayuk had offensive pass interference, and that could have kept the drive going even more. I think that was a third down as well. Just a lot of mistakes that the 49ers did that they need to clean up big time. I mean, that was very undisciplined football right there. That was like the Chicago Bears last year. A lot of people are joking to me about that, about all the penalties and undisciplined play right there. And Dre Greenlaw, I mean, that was a little reckless on his part, so hopefully he kind of redeems himself for the rest of the season. But yeah, I mean, those two things, as I said, they're the big issue, especially the offensive line. I even mentioned that earlier, a few days before the season started. It was the offensive line, and so far it has not eased my worries. I think a lot of you guys are worried as well. And we play Seattle this week, and although they don't have the greatest defensive line, I mean, any NFL team can get a nice pressure if your offensive line is not really doing well in the trenches. I'm a little concerned, but it is what it is. So, yep, that's pretty much it, you guys. Just wanted to talk about this. Wanted to talk about the things they should be able to clean up and should need to clean up in order to have a great season for the rest of the way. Am I still concerned about the 2022 season? Absolutely not. I know it's one game. I know it's something to freak out. 10-19 should have beat the Bears, but at the same time, you get those kinds of games where even if it's an inferior team, you lose the game. That's what we saw right there. We saw a couple of upsets. The Giants upsetting the Tennessee Titans. That was a big one right there. But yeah, we were probably the biggest upsetted team in terms of losing to a quote-unquote inferior team. But got to give credit to the Bears. They did win the game, and that's a win for them. That's a loss for us. That's it, guys. Please let me know what you guys think about the whole penalties, offensive line, any other concerns coming in to the 2022 season after week 1. I liked what you had to say in the comments below. If you guys like this, please like and subscribe. That's going to help me out a lot. I hope to catch you guys up tomorrow on Monday, or Tuesday, I should say, where I do predictions or edge-to-edge videos against the Seattle Seahawks. We'll see what they do tonight against the Broncos. Bye, guys. Love y'all. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Go Niners all day.